Let's fucking go. You are listening to the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy.
Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believed me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I'm making look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic gotta say. I got them picking up the pieces. That me, you really playing with you like I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era about to snap back. You ain't fitted for it cause you all cap like. Hold up, I shoot my shot, wait, hold up. I'm really about to run this go up. You know it's all net when it go up. Ain't got no other plans, you don't need to understand.
And welcome. It's Friday, and this is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy behind all the controls. Gonna make it work this morning. And how are you, Leo?
I'm doing pretty good. A little tired, but
yeah,
we're good. Alive and well.
All right.
How are you doing, Troy?
I'm good. I can say that give Dawn a little bit of a shout out. She asked me if I wanted to go to the casino. You know, like, hey, do you want, almost like me asking, but I didn't ask. She's the one that asked, Well, yeah, just for a little bit, I think she was feeling lucky. And, yeah, we went and worked out at Mountainside, and then we went to the casino, fairly early. And, when it's, I don't know, between 7 and 8, that's fairly early. And Dawn started with 300 is what I took to the casino last night. And I wanted to do at least 1,000, maybe 2. The first shoe was great that we sat down at, one of the best shoes I've had in a month, where it wasn't all choppy, where there's runs in it, and my strategy makes money. I went down a little bit the next shoe because about quarter or a third of the way in, it started to get stupid, which totally fucks up my strategy. We went and ate, then we came back and we ate at the casino. And man, I was up another $400 within a few minutes, within 5 minutes. And so I was pushing to try to get to 7,500, and I was really close. And I just kept I think, what was it, 65? No, I ended up at 7. So I kind of put 7 aside. So I went from 6 to 7 and put that aside, and I was playing with $400 or $500, and I was making some bigger bets, trying to make some shit happen, and just didn't. But I was okay with that because I left with nice $1,000 gain, and which isn't big money for big bettors at all. And it's, if you see my strategy, it's slow as fuck the way I make money the most of the time. But I was feeling pretty good at that. But shout out to Dawn for learning the game and watching. And I rarely don't say anything. She sits next to me most of the time if we can. And somebody was nice enough when we got there to give up their seat so she could sit next to me. So yeah, I mean, a lot of people that play at the table we play are regulars. You wouldn't believe how regular, man, and the money that goes through there. But yeah, I don't really say very much very often to her, and she does her own thing now. Sometimes she's making a bet on the same hand that I'm betting on, but not always, which is fine, and she did well. It wasn't just luck that she got, was able to double her money. There's a strategy to it. And, but yeah, you can lose even with a good strategy. But she clearly has come a long way from sitting behind and watching for some hours.
I was going to say, you know what they say about luck? It's when preparation meets opportunity.
Yes. Very good. Yeah. And she had the opportunity, and there you go. She was prepared, and she's got her little stash. And like I said, she started with 300, and she could pull that 300 out, and just continue playing with the house money.
Yeah.
And whatever happens to it, even if you lost it all, like house money. You got to have some entertainment for a
Yeah.
while. But that's not our goal.
Yeah, it's to have fun
Our
and
goal,
profit.
yeah, we do want to win. You know, I know it can't happen every time, but more often than not, it would be a good thing. And that other voice you hear is Mikey G. Good morning, Mikey.
Good morning to you, sir. How was your weekend besides the or not
Weekend,
weekend?
yeah,
Sorry,
weekend.
how was your last? How has your week been going?
My week's been good. I watched a tremendous amount of basketball on Wednesday because that was the last of the WNBA regular season, and you know, until next week.
Mhm.
They have their All-Star game tomorrow. And I think we talked about it on the show, what bullshit it was that Kalia Cooper, I keep saying Cooper, Kalia Copper, who I absolutely love. She's easily one of the top 10 players in the league. And you can't go through her current stats. She's been a WNBA All-Star before. She's easily the best team on the Phoenix Mercury right now. And I mean, she's in top 5, top 10, like in almost every statistical category, you know, and she got left out of the All-Star game. But Alyssa Thomas, who has not had a WNBA All-Star season up to this point, dude, she's barely half of what she did last year, you know, and it was dominant. I give it to her. But there's a big fall off from what she did last year to this year. But a lot of these all-star games or all-pro games or whatever for every sport, some of it is a popularity contest. And I always like it when people get rewarded for, you know, doing what they're supposed to do. Some third baseman, you know, leading all third basemen in batting percentage or something like that, and home runs of third baseman for the first half of the year. But because he's not, you know, a normal big star, doesn't get selected. But originally, growing up, that's what I always thought it was supposed to be.
Yes,
You know,
unfortunately, social media has played a role.
yeah,
in
it doesn't
that.
help.
Yeah,
Oh, you can vote as many times as you want.
yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah. So who has fans that are willing, that are lazy, that don't have anything else to do but to vote every day?
Yeah.
I mean,
That's how it
you
is.
don't
for some
have
people.
you know, can you imagine making that a priority on your list? Oh, I voted for this player today.
8,000 times.
Yeah, exactly. And but she is going to be in the NBA All-Star game now. She was selected to replace Kelsey Plum, who is injured. So she gets put in as the injury selection.
Okay.
And it counts as being in a WNBA All-Star, like
Yeah,
she
I
was
mean-
selected. I just think it's bullshit that it had to happen this way and that she wasn't just selected. That's just my personal opinion.
Kelsey Plum.
No, she was. No, I'm
Oh,
talking about
the other-
Copper.
oh, Copper. Okay.
Right
gotcha,
there.
gotcha.
Where's Copper at? Copper's right there, number 2.
Gotcha. Okay.
She has, you know, she's been scoring probably right around 19, 20 points a game average so far for the season.
Okay. Yeah.
That's going to put you
Yeah. That's
near
solid.
the top. Yeah, every game. Yeah, very much so. And watched Caitlin Clark. This Wednesday night was the second game after her big 45 that points she had, you know, earlier in the week. And the game after, some people were a little critical because it wasn't a big game. It was still a good game that she played. It just wasn't, you know, as big as the numbers. And dude, they like crushed the Sun. Now I know the Sun sucks, but everybody else gets to play the Sun, and they didn't do what the Fever did to the Sun. You know,
Is it Sun or Suns? They just
Sun, Connecticut Sun. There's no S.
Huh. I wonder if that has anything to do with like the Phoenix Suns and not being like
to
copying it?
not, you know, fuck with the trademark or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know.
It
I
could
get
be.
it.
That would make sense. That would make sense.
Whatever.
But she came out, and I think she was 5 for 5 in the first 2 quarters on threes, and maybe she ended up 6 of 8 or something like that. And she scored upper 20s, maybe around 27 or so. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. And then she got a technical. So she is now officially 1 technical away from getting suspended for a game. And then after they get suspended for a game for that, then they can only get two technicals before they're suspended again. So we might be missing Caitlin a couple times this year for being suspended, and I think that's just stupid.
She made the All-Star game, right?
Yes, she
So
did.
she had
But
to.
there was a little controversy when
Shocker.
there was a ranking by the players of who the best WNBA players are at different positions. And this is done by your peers. This is other players. They didn't have her in the top 10 of guards.
Yeah, I'm sure that's pretty accurate. It has nothing to do with jealousy or whatever beef they may have with her. Women
Right.
are ruthless to each other. Absolutely ruthless.
Yeah. So against the Sun, they had 26 points in the first quarter, 30 in the second, 30 maybe in the third, and then like 24, 26 in the fourth. I mean, they just slaughtered them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, everybody had a big game. So that was fun to watch. There's been some controversy also with Sophie. I've pointed it out on my social media. I put a little "I stand with Sophie" post up. If you know, you know. Sophie Cunningham was asked about transgender issues in general, and she answered that in a very sweet way, that she has no problem with anybody, love for everybody, but she believes in protecting girls against boys in women's sports. And there was even kind of a follow-up question to that by somebody else. And, she's just saying that that's her values and what she believes. And, why do we have Title IX if you're going to let men into women's sports? The whole idea of Title IX was to give women opportunity that they weren't getting. The scholarships, I agree at the time. I grew up during Title IX implementation and everything. And, there was a little backlash because you're familiar with Mid-American schools.
Mm-hmm.
The Mid-American Conference is a D1 league, but they're at or near the bottom of the D1 teams.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that Toledo, for example, they had to have some kind of parity. And in some cases, to make that parity happen and to have enough money, Toledo got rid of its wrestling team. And the number of MAC schools I remember that had wrestling teams dropped, because they had to take that money and put it into women's sports, which they did. And, I was a wrestler, so I didn't really like that at the time, but I was a kid too. I was in high school. What the fuck did I know?
Yeah.
I didn't understand the full issue or the money or why it was happening or anything like that. Like, I do totally get it now, and it was totally appropriate. And, if most of these schools have enough money now to do whatever they want and have whatever sport they want.
Oh, yeah.
And most of the sports are not sustainable of themselves. Football is
Football carries all of them.
carries everybody
For-
basically.
on
It
a-
just does.
Like except maybe basketball might be the only other one that's not. But
Yeah. In basketball, at the very least, it's carrying itself. It may not generate enough to, or at least in the same amount that football does,
yeah,
to help others. But there's probably a little bit left over, for the swim team. I don't know. But so that's what it really, what she said should not be controversial. It's just common sense. And that's what she talked about. She was attacked a little bit after that, even though, remember, who's the tennis legend that we bring up all the time? Martina Navratilova.
yeah,
Right?
Mhm.
And sometimes we agree with Martina and sometimes we don't. Well, one of the issues that Martina does stand on is that biological men shouldn't be playing in women's sports. And when this happened with Sophie, she retweeted something else that was positive in that way, that you can tell that that's what she believes too.
Yeah.
But you're not going to find somebody who has been more representative in of the LGBT community in that's a sports leader or a legend than her. I mean, she just is. But she also knows that there's a line that has to be drawn too. So let's go to that story. The former Fever player responds to Sophie. Yeah. So this just happened. So this, there's so much politics right now, or cultural issues going on with the WNBA. They really need to get this right. And I don't know if they will, but that's just my personal belief, is that they really need to get this right. Or it could longer term damage the league. Yeah, we're celebrating 30 years. Okay. But look at the first 10 years of the league. There's a new team called Portland Fire. Guess what? This is the second Portland team they've had. I think the first one went down in 2002. All right. Cleveland had a WNBA team at one time. And in future expansion, they're being considered for a team in the future.
Yeah.
Same for Miami. Miami had at one time a team. So there was a lot of attrition and, not as many teams, not as long of a season. That's just the way it was, the growth of it. And even though it's been around for 30 years, this is really the strongest it's ever been, health-wise, or to be able to make money. And like it or not, that much of that credit has to be to new eyeballs being brought in because of Caitlin Clark. That's but look, there's other great players right now, other great rookies that are just tearing shit up in this league. Paige Beckers is everything that we thought she would be. I think in many ways, she is Caitlin's equal on the court. Not as she does bring eyeballs, but not to the extent that Caitlin Clark does.
Mm-hmm.
So and then Olivia Miles, who should be this year's Rookie of the Year, just super, super fun to watch. And same thing there, at least, on the floor, she's fun to watch. But I don't know how many people that are not really interested like I am in the WNBA, how many people are, but they're sports fans, and sports fans who enjoy a wide swath of sports, right? I don't know how many really know about her in the game, people watching the game, they know, or that's have a vested interest in the WNBA because they attend games and do what we do, also watch games at home. Another one is Aziz Fudd, the sidekick of Paige in Dallas. You know, if in my mind, if Paige, or I'm sorry, if Olivia Miles wasn't my pick for Rookie of the Year, it would probably then go to Aziz Fudd. So, you know, just really, really good new players. But again, I know all this because I was brought to it by Caitlin Clark. That's just the way that it is. And in this story that we're going to go through here, it's a shame because this is getting twisted now into something like, I don't want to call this former Fever player. Can we scroll down? Yeah, I right there. I don't want to call this former Fever player, Brianna Turner, stupid. Okay, but she has the dumbest comment that any person with even a little modicum of common sense could not come to the conclusion that she's coming to. So, Indiana Fever facing new scrutiny after former player Turner accused the organization of firing a male staff member over sexual harassment allegations during her time with the team. Weighing in after Sophie Cunningham's comments on trans athletes. Now, what is wrong with the Indiana Fever having someone that is part of their personnel who does something wrong to the extent, you know, that it was so inappropriate that they felt they needed to fire him and that they fired them? I would think, wouldn't you be mad if it did happen and maybe the woman who was harassed left because she wasn't comfortable working there anymore because they didn't fire the male employee and they kept him and they tried to keep it, you know, quiet that it happened? And yeah, that is a talking point about they kind of wanted to keep it in-house, but they did the right thing, getting rid of the person that committed the offense. Now, she played with them last year. She's with the Aces now. You know, Cunningham, as we've said, has defended women's sports from biological females. No, she's defended women's sports against, or I get how it's set up now, for biological females, and you don't want biological males in it. So we go to Cunningham wants to protect girls, women in the locker room. They shouldn't have to play against biological men. Going to the bottom, Turner barked at Cunningham's claims, saying organizations like the Fever are a greater threat to the game than trans athletes. According to the Turner, the Fever fired a male staff member after allegations of sexual harassment and instructed players not to discuss the matter publicly. Again, they tried to keep it in-house, but they did the right thing. I don't really see what the complaint is or how they're a threat or more of a threat than trans players. And not all trans players, by the way. To date, here, this is where it gets stupid. She madly defended trans inclusion, pointing to former WNBA player Laisha Clarendon, who was born female before later identifying as transgender. So she was a biological female who liked to pretend she was a dude, which there's no issue with from any of us. Playing, I don't have any issue with her playing in the WNBA. I am going to bring up one issue about it, though. But that's where she should play. Because first of all, she's not going to be good enough as a trans man to play in the NBA. She's just not going to be good enough. And, you know, if they want to really have it their way, and have inclusion and not have Title IX and protecting girls, we'll just have basketball. We'll just have sport. And then when women disappear, we'll see how you like that turnout. Probably not. To date, there's been one out trans player in the league. They caused zero problems, Turner wrote on X. This is so incredibly fucking stupid. Allow the first trans woman to play in the WNBA and then tell me it's all okay. Not a trans man, a trans woman, somebody who was a biological man. I think the general public that doesn't care really about trans one way or another, they don't hate them, but they don't think about them. They don't think about, their sexuality and their gender because they don't even think about their own. They just don't identify in that way with that on their sleeve everywhere they go. I have a sign, that these people have to just wear a sign around their necks. Please use my pronouns. You know what I mean? That's what it's like. It's so fucking stupid. But how to compare, and I'm sure she went to college, and to compare a trans man versus a trans woman and acting like that's some kind of equal thing, it's not. I mean, I don't know. Have they ever, so one of the things that we talk about, if you're really a dedicated trans woman, you should get your dick cut off. But we found less than 25% do that. It's like 20%, I think, when we all looked it up, right? That you should cut your dick off. Well, I don't know. I haven't seen it, but we can probably look it up. Do they surgically implant dicks on a trans man now?
I have no idea.
What do they got, Leo?
I don't know what the fuck that they do.
I'm pretty sure it's just an option. You get to choose whether or not you want to attach a penis.
But is it a mechanical type working penis? I mean, how does that work?
I can look it up for you. I have no idea.
Just a strap on.
Yeah, look it up.
Prosthetic dick.
Yeah, that's what I want to know. That's what I'm asking. Kind of. But it's just so stupid of her to say that. Of course it's okay. Now, I have said nothing for months now. You can attest to this, Mikey. Anytime I've talked about Griner, I don't think I've talked about Griner in a negative way. I don't think I have.
Yeah, I don't. I think the only time was when we were pissed that she was like all anti-USA for a long time. But that
that changed.
Yeah.
That changed, and she stood for the national anthem. But recently, any conversation or anything I've said about her,
it hasn't been about
it's been a positive. She's still got some game left.
Yeah,
she's almost. I hate to compare her to LeBron. I really do. But she's got limited minutes that she can give. But in her limited minutes, she can score double digits almost every time and get rebounds and be at like the 16 to 18 points for 20 minutes. She may not be able to give you more than 20 minutes. But if you have a player in literally half of the time of the game can come off the bench or start for you and give you that kind of production, they're good enough to be on a roster.
Yeah.
And she still is.
For sure.
So I don't want this to seem negative or at all, or an attack on her. I am not attacking Brittany Griner at all. But she is gay. I don't know if she considers, I thought there was talk about that before, I don't know if she considers herself a trans man or not. I wouldn't be surprised if she does. And I don't care if she does. She's playing in the leagues she could play in. As good of a player, she'll be in the Hall of Fame for the women's.
Mm-hmm.
At no point in her career was she good enough to play in the NBA.
Hell no.
But I mean, but she is the tallest, biggest, strongest biological female that's ever played in the WNBA. At least that's my belief. She's strong. She walks like a man. She has a deep voice. I don't know if she's takes testosterone or not, but I thought that she was. And that's the only issue I have about trans men playing in the WNBA. How much testosterone are you going to let them take? You know what I'm saying? Because it makes a difference.
Yeah, for sure.
Like a big difference. So, but still, that's the only place they can play. And I get it. You know, there's one tiny group. It's not trans athletes where there's an issue. The issue is with trans women. The issue is with men pretending to be women and taking spots away from roster spots for women, either for college and scholarships or money, if that were to happen in the WNBA. But I don't want to hear shit about this or this pushback on this, because we talk about it this way in an honest way. I'm not going to take any shit about that. If you really want to be as inclusive as you say you want to be, put a real trans woman, a biological male, a real trans woman who has college basketball experience, never got drafted to the NBA, but played, we'll just say at least they played at a D1 school, at any level of D1. And tell me how y'all think about that person, you know, with the new money that you're all getting, about that person taking $1 to $2 to $3 million of the budget of that WNBA team. Prove it to me. Prove to me that you're as inclusive as you're saying you are. Because having a trans man play in the WNBA, he's a biological female. So it's not the same. That doesn't count. And I'm sorry that there is one trans group that can play sports and one that can't. Now, look, they actually could play sport if they wanted to. If you're a trans woman and you're a biological man and you're as good as you say you are, you need to play with the men. That's all. If you're good enough, play with the men. I haven't heard one person yet, I'm not saying it couldn't happen, changes clothes and whips their dick out. Who cares? Right?
Yeah.
They all got their dicks whipped out. They're taking showers. They're all walking around. I've been in NBA locker rooms after the game. I told you, I covered the Cleveland Cavaliers during LeBron's first run with the Cleveland Cavaliers. I used to get to, go to any game I wanted with them, go in the locker room, record. I got to sit with all the other reporters. And I had a great time covering that. I did it for a couple seasons. The Steelers, I did it for a few years and loved doing it. So I know what goes on in the inside of the locker room by firsthand experience. But Turner, you can't be that dumb. Come on, man. You can't do that. That just doesn't make sense. But that's what they'll do. They'll twist it. They'll turn it, but when it's not the same, it's not the same. And you can't twist and turn that to make us look like the bad guys. We're not the bad guys. We're just saying that there's a limit to it. And you've been able to push the limits quite a bit. And this idea that, trans rights or LGBT rights have been diminished, not in my lifetime, they haven't. They've been expanded as much as anything could be expanded. It's easier for, players, former players. That's happened now. We've had former NFL players that didn't come out during their playing careers that have come out now. And it wasn't too long ago that there was an openly gay player.
Mhm.
Was he from Notre Dame?
No,
Who was he from? You know what I'm talking about? Does
yeah,
it ring a bell?
yeah, Carl Nassib. I'm pretty sure he's from Penn State, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, he played for the Browns and I think like the Raiders and somebody else. But then there's Michael Sam, who was like openly gay in college, like going into the draft. And there was like a big deal because when he got drafted in like the 7th round, they panned to him and he's like kissing his boyfriend and like everybody got fucking pissed off about it.
Mhm.
But those are the only two that I can think
But-
of in the NFL.
But today, the reaction would be less
Yeah.
less negative.
Mm-hmm.
People would just overlook it. It was more new. It's the first time we were seeing that shit. We never saw that shit. We didn't watch drug commercials where men are holding hands,
Yeah.
and kissing as they're walking down the beach. That was never a thing for
Fuck
most
no.
of my life,
Hell
dude.
no. Most of my life. I mean,
And today, I don't even pay attention to it.
you can't.
I just don't pay attention to it. Like I don't hate it. I don't love it. I don't anything about it.
Well, you'd be going round and round. It would never
And,
end for
and
you.
what would it do if I did?
Nothing.
Nothing. And I'm just also trying to prove the point. We've come a long way.
Maybe too far, but yeah.
And that, you know what? You're entitled to that opinion. Absolutely. There's definitely people still in that camp that is too far. But we've come very far.
Hell yeah.
That's we've had to come very far for you to possibly say it might be too far, right? We've come very, very far.
Yeah.
Okay. It is the way that it is. And that's why I'm saying that, their rights are not being taken away. Everybody's rights need to be protected. And we repeat this over and over, you have the right to make whatever choice you want, but sometimes that choice is going to have consequences. And if you're a male athlete and you choose to be a trans female, a trans woman, you have to understand that for you to participate in sports, you're still going to have to compete against boys. That's it. We're not trying to exclude you. We're just trying to put you in the right camp, because your rights are not greater than the 15 girls already on that roster. They shouldn't have to bow to this one player. I mean, I'm sick of seeing shit about that San Jose volleyball player and, the California bullshit. I mean,
that's equally as crazy for different reasons. Just the fact that she was not only that, like they were covering it up to let her, whatever, on the team, and then allegations of that same player
right,
helping like the other team by like trying to purposely injure their teammates. There's a lot to unpack with that story. There's a lot.
And we did touch on it. We didn't unpack it all, but we did touch on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's crazy. Our position isn't unreasonable. And it's not hate. It's love for our girls. That's it. So I'm sorry, Breonna Turner. I'm sorry. You're just wrong on this one.
Well, yeah.
You're entitled to the opinion.
It's a twisting of the
But
words.
you're entitled to a wrong opinion too.
Yeah.
And that's your opinion is wrong. Some people, it's crazy that people think that someone's opinion can never be wrong. Yeah, it fucking can. Facts can show that your opinion is wrong.
Yeah.
People need to grow up about that shit. All right. That, speaking about women and protecting women, this was kind of crazy. There, saw this. There was a model, or a model scout for Epstein. And I had never seen anything about him before. His name is Daniel Said, and he faced allegations of rape and trafficking in France and appeared in more than a thousand documents in the Epstein files. Now, I've never really heard anybody talk about him now on any other podcast. I've never heard anybody talking about this guy who was, I guess I would say, recruiting women to be trafficked with Jeffrey Epstein.
Probably because Maxwell was like his number one like recruiter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably why. I'm sure he had multiple others, but it just didn't draw as much as Maxwell did.
Well, he's dead.
Yeah.
69 years old, was under investigation by prosecutors specializing in human trafficking in France, accused of rape and other charges. His name appeared more than 1,000 times in the declassified files. He was one of several French men accused of aiding Epstein to traffic and abuse women. He had not yet been questioned by investigators, but he denied the allegations, saying he wanted to give his version of events. He is found dead in his home. An investigation to determine the cause of death has been open. Autopsy is to be carried out. Maybe it will turn out to be that he killed himself.
Yeah,
maybe.
Magically, I'm sure. Especially after wanting to give his side of the events, just magically, he's like, you know what? I don't want to do that anymore. I'm just going to take my own life. Allegedly.
Yeah, and apparently he was one of Epstein's most loyal friends.
Well, I've heard all I need to hear to kind of draw a conclusion myself.
Yeah. So that's, we may not get all of the documents and everything we want, but people who are connected with this, with Epstein, we're going to find out more about them and who they are. And the way we'll find out about it is they're going to unalive themselves, or someone else will unalive them.
Most likely, yeah. That's usually how it goes. I mean, like I said, all I needed to hear was one of Epstein's most loyal scouts, and then wanted to give his own version of the story. And I mean, obviously I would like to know the full details, but I think I can draw those dots together on my own.
Yeah. When do you expect Bill Gates to unalive himself?
I don't know. He might just have enough money and power to just to be able to outlast it. Who knows? I don't know. That dude, he's been in so much nefarious shit that I don't ever wish death upon people, but I will say that outside of Microsoft, like, what the fuck has he done positive for the world? He's been involved in a lot of non-positive things, like all the stuff with like the mosquitoes and shit like that, all the different like lab insects that he works on and like puts out there. Like, we could go for days talking about what he does, but that dude, like I said, don't wish death, but waiting for it.
Yeah.
Just waiting for nature to take its course, I guess we'll say.
And we're still waiting for more people to be accountable. I just was a little surprised seeing this story because I really didn't see this guy's name pop up in other places. And it probably has, but I didn't see it. Maybe other people have talked about it, but they must be pretty obscure.
Yeah.
I've not, heard it on Sean Ryan or Tucker or PBD or any of these other,
Mm-hmm.
Joe Rogan. I haven't heard this on any of those
Yeah.
podcasts about this particular dude. So
Well, you probably will now, because I mean,
we will now.
Epstein and then Scout found dead. That's all you need to hear.
Well, unless the death was of natural causes.
Yeah.
But this doesn't lead me to believe it was of natural causes, does it you?
No, and it sucks. It's like, well, I don't know if it sucks, but just based on the situation, it could be natural causes, but no one will ever believe it, even if it was. Like they'll come out and say, "Oh, he died. He died of a heart attack in his sleep. It was natural." Everyone's like, "Yeah, fucking right. Okay, good one." There's nothing you can say to fucking turn
That's
that around.
probably true. You're probably right, Mikey G, calling that out. Yeah, I would say so. Where was that? That was France, right?
I thought it said France.
Yeah. Speaking of France, how do you feel about France being the first EU country to ban social media for kids under 15?
I actually agree with this. I really do. I've been saying that there should be two different kinds of internet for kids and internet for the adults. Because I think there's just it's I don't want to go on too long here, but it's way too easy for a 13-year-old, 15-year-old, whatever it is, to access whatever is on there on the internet, whether it's on purpose or on accident. I think if there's a lot more guardrails, that it would be a lot better for their brain chemistry and their development.
What are the guardrails that are most important to you?
Just age limits on things, and not only just like not being able to like. It's kind of weird how I'm gonna compare this, but you know how like when porn sites now they try to fucking make you put your ID in and shit like that. You shouldn't be able to fake it to where kids can't access it based on their location, their IP address, like the device that they're using. Like Instagram does have something similar to this where it's like just only for kids,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like super locked down. And I like I said, I agree with that as well. But it's really just all on the technical side. It's just not allowing them to have the ability to reach that side of the internet.
And don't most platforms though now have some type of parental controls?
Mm-hmm. But it's very loose. It's not very.
Yeah.
It's not strictly enforced, and even if the parents do enforce it, kids know how to get around it because it's just there's like one step that is required of them. They just need one password, or they just need to get their parents' phone while they're asleep, get that verification code, and now it's gone.
Well, here's, last weekend we went to dinner with the Chaffins, and he's my dentist. He's more than a dentist. He's a dental surgeon. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
He's like elite at what he does. And his wife said, I think one of the two boys they have might be like in 6th grade, the other's in 8th grade. And I don't know which one it was, but on her phone, they did a staycation and we met them at the Fairmont Scottsdale Princess and the kids were in the room. But she had her phone and her one son was FaceTiming. He wasn't FaceTiming her. He was FaceTiming a friend and she could see it on her phone.
Oh, like okay. So even though it was supposed to be like between them and their friend, the mom or the parent or whoever, it was still
They have, I don't know what particular app they use to do it, but even text, not any social media platforms,
yeah.
just even texting, she gets both sides of the text.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably Apple has a ton of like parental controls and stuff like that to really lock down. But that's my main.
I'm just saying, if you're going to do it, that's a way to really,
Oh,
if you're
yeah.
going to allow them to do it, that's a good parent
Yeah.
in really staying on top of what their kids are doing.
For sure, but I think that's the main issue with a lot of this stuff is that not every parent is that diligent with it.
Oh, of course not.
That's the biggest issue, and you can't rely on them to be on top of it 24/7 because some people they just have to work all the time and they can't be.
But
doing
what
that.
price should good kids pay for the shit that bad kids do?
Yeah, that's a tough question. I mean, they shouldn't have to, but they will. Like it's kind of one of those things like a few rotten apples ruins a whole bunch type of thing. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you mean like some people do dumb shit with guns and have a mass shooting, and then it affects all the other
All the gun
people
owners, yeah.
who are just target practicing and
Yeah, for sure.
eating deer.
Yeah, that's yeah, 100%. Um yeah, there's just like I just think it's should be more reliant on our government on like these platforms to just make stricter rules like that because you shouldn't be able like okay, here's a great example. I don't know how familiar you are with it, but do you know what Roblox is?
I've heard of it.
It's one of the most popular games in the world,
Mm.
billions and billions of users, but it's been dubbed the pedophile game because any dude can
I
just
have heard that before.
he can just log on there and he can talk to children on there. And that's kind of what I mean is like not being able to let those two sides like intermingle. Like if it's going to be all kids, like it needs to be all kids. Like you can't just have open access for some fucking weirdo to go on there and then he starts talking to them and oh, what's your Instagram? What's your Snapchat? Message me here. You know, stuff like that. So it's like it's once they get in there, kids are kids. I mean, they're not going to know like when that stuff is happening.
No.
They might figure out later on, but and however long that is, but they're not going to know and they're going to give up that information. And that's when once they have that info and they can be contacted, that's when it gets really bad. So that's basically what I mean is like not allowing those like having just a clear wall. Just some sort of wall. I don't know technically, I don't know how exactly it would work. I have somewhat of an idea, but there's much smarter minds that could probably tell you step by step on what needed to be done. But that's basically my idea is just keep those two sides separated. And then once they're of age, 18 years old, I guess we'll call it, then they can access that part of the internet.
So I wouldn't be against them having their own platform and not allowing people over the age of 18 on the platform.
Yeah, I would even say like, no, that might be too hard to. I was gonna say maybe even under 18. Like once you get to like 17, like 17 would be the cutoff point, but then that becomes too hard to enforce. But
You're
yeah,
letting kids drive at 16, remember?
yeah,
That's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean it's a complex issue, but I have no doubts that in the year of 2026, it's something that we can make happen. It's just about whether they actually want to or not. And again, it comes down to at the very end of the day, it does come down to the parents. You know, that's you have to put that responsibility on them.
And what I'd like to see in the future is what can AI do to make it to make these platforms and the internet more secure and safer for younger, for kids,
Mm-hmm.
above the age of 12.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm okay with not anything under than 12. At 12, you're starting to develop and do some things and be creative. That's the thing too. I don't want kids to stop being as creative as they are, and just because they're creative in a different way than what we did. That's their one son. He's really not into sports,
Mm-hmm.
but he is into the gaming.
Yeah.
And he's helped kids. He's helped edit videos for kids. That watch gaming. That's actually a thing. Is watching other people play.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to her. I said it sounded like he's really, really good. And I said, you might want to look into what's available for him to join, and because they have these competitions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where they travel different cities and you come in for a day or a weekend and whatever the game is, and you compete against other teams.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And, if he's really good at that, look, they have teams, they get sponsors, they make money.
Yeah. Esports is huge. It's very big and continuously growing.
Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I would, instead of trying to force kids into a way of life that's not ever going to happen again,
Mm-hmm.
the way that I grew up, it's just not going to be. We have to also understand their way of life and what's available to them and guide them, you know, and offer some help. That was
Yeah. Oh,
one of my things.
no, I agree. There's a way to keep that side of it without letting any of the negative aspects of it come into play. Like you could, like you said, somebody could create a platform in which it's guarded not only by AI but by like real life people too to help keep things in check. But it's still just a community of that younger crowd. So it's just all of them together, and you don't have any of those outside pedos trying to fucking do
Yeah,
anything.
well, and the platform's right there. You already have the platform. Duplicate it, and then the thing that would be worked on is the security
Yeah.
to
People
make it highly secure.
like there's some like they're like the largest streaming platform there is. Well, there's a lot of competition now. One of the largest streaming platforms are, and they're pretty strict about what they allow on there, but they're not perfect. They're not on top of everything all the time. That's probably, to your point, that's probably where AI would have to come in and be the ones to put a hold on something, and then somebody, maybe a real person, comes in and reviews it and then approves or denies whatever that thing is.
And that review could be sent to the parent's email, so the parent knows what's going on, and they have to like hit the okay
Yeah.
to let things continue.
Yeah.
I mean, look at what we have to do with banks today all the time.
Yeah.
That we have to
Hell,
say, yes, I really am trying to send, you know, $200 to Mikey G. I'm really trying to do it. Now let me send my own money.
Well, also just trying to sign into your socials sometimes, how fucking ridiculous it is. I mean, I'll have to get 3 verification codes just for one fucking thing. It's ridiculous. So if we could make it that difficult to sign into something, we can make it that difficult to protect children. Well, help protecting children.
We can make a complex program that can maybe not be 100% bulletproof, but if it's north of 90,
significant jump for sure.
that we'd have to like take that. So instead of just banning something, what I'm talking about is what's the real problem and what solutions can we come up with for that real problem.
You know what sucks is that solution still might not come for a long time, and it's solely just money based, because realistically, I don't know, there could be money in it, but like I feel like there's not as much money as there is like how everything just like free roam now. Like like anybody could hit up anybody and get and like do like a sponsorship deal and this and that. But when you have all those guardrails in place, like you have to go through like 8 different things to talk to somebody. It's not as like, you're not going to want to do it, if that makes any sense. There's just not as much money involved, and I think that's why it hasn't happened yet.
I think kids have money
Yeah.
today. Because it is about marketing to us. I mean, Facebook, dude, I don't see hardly any of my friends' posts anymore. I used to see friend after friend after friend after friend, then see something else, then friend. And now it's ad, somebody I don't know, and they're telling me to follow them. You know, other people's stuff because maybe their account is public, but it'll be to follow them, and don't do that. But it's all ads. I mean, the Cove shorts that I'm wearing today, it's so ridiculous right now that these Cove shorts, which never did before, are now showing up on Dawn's social media. She told me last night, you know, your shorts are showing up on my social media now.
Probably talking to her about them, and then the phone listening
just
in
to
on
talk.
you. Yeah.
Just to
Unfortunately,
talk.
that's a whole different side that I'm not okay with social media listening, and even though they say they're not,
Oh, we know they are.
but we know they are. I mean, did I tell you the other day?
No,
We
tell me.
were talking about the Arizona Rattlers. And like, I've been to the Rattlers game like years ago when I first fucking moved here. I have a t-shirt, whatever, but haven't mentioned it since then. You and I started talking about it for what, 5 fucking minutes?
If that.
Next day, I get an ad to buy Arizona Rattlers tickets. And I'm like, how fucking coincidental. It just happens to pop up on my Facebook the day after we talked about it for less than 5 minutes. But you're not listening to us?
So tell me, when is the Rattler season? I'm just curious.
It might be going on right now. I think it's during the middle of the summer. Yeah, because do you know what Pogo Pass is? It's like this thing. It's more family oriented, but it's pretty cool. You pay like $35-$50 for a whole season of stuff. You can go to the zoo, the aquarium. Fat Cats is on there, but the Rattlers is on there as well. And that's what it
For
was.
just one game?
I think it was like a select couple games, home games. We just went to the one, but yeah, it was like during the summer if I remember correctly. Yeah, let me just look up what the Arena Football League schedule is.
Yeah.
That is a good question.
We don't really, I mean, who's carrying it? What network is carrying Arena Football?
I don't know, actually. That's a good question. I can't remember the last time I ever saw it on actual TV. Let's see. So
The last time I saw it, it was a movie.
okay, so yeah, it says the regular season concluded mid July. So yeah, it's like right in the middle of summer, and then
So now they're in the playoffs?
yeah, so they're in the quarterfinal round.
And how many Arena Football teams are there in the league?
I'm gonna take a guess. I'm gonna say like 12.
That would be interesting.
I actually really like Arena Football. It's fun to watch. It really is. All right, so I don't need all this information. Where are we going? There we go. All right, total Arena Football. So they have 8
teams.
8 teams. Yeah,
So they probably have 2 divisions, 4 and 4.
yep. It's probably like how that women's softball
And
league is.
probably, I don't know, what do they take? The top 6 of the 8 teams to have the playoff
Let's see here, 'cause
and give the first team
so it'd be
a bye.
interesting. Seeding would be interesting in that. So yeah, features 6-team single elimination tournament. So basically like NFL, just one
Yeah,
and done.
Of course.
Top 6 teams, and then that's crazy. They do have seeding, but the number 1 and number 2 overall seeds earn a first round bye. Wow,
Which is just what I said. See, I
Yeah.
had a good guess.
that's crazy. Because thinking like there's only 6 teams, 2 of them are still getting a first round bye. Like that first round bye might be a lot more valuable than most fucking sports. That's crazy. But yeah, when we went, they beat the dog shit out of whoever they were playing, the Rattlers. They beat them like 50 something to like 14.
How long ago was it you went?
Probably when I first moved here, so probably going on 4 years.
4
now.
years?
Yeah, it's like somewhere in 2022, I believe.
And where do they play?
They played at the Sun Stadium when I went. I'm assuming they still play there, but that's where it was. Which is called something now. It's not Footprint anymore. What is it now?
Mortgage Matchup.
Yeah, Mortgage Matchup. So it's at Mortgage Matchup Arena.
I would have thought it would been closer to State Farm Stadium
Mm-hmm.
and that hockey stadium there and concerts
Yeah.
there. That stadium where we used to have the Coyotes.
Yeah, which I've been
I
there.
would have thought that it would have been there.
Yeah, I mean that's a solid venue too. I'm not really. I have to imagine it's probably something like concessions wise, or maybe they just. I don't know. I'd rather it be there because when I went to the game, it was like fucking $15 for a drink, like just for I don't know. I just expected to be cheaper at an Arizona Rattlers game. I was paying Suns prices for a Rattlers game. It just felt a little bit weird, but yeah, that was my only beef with it. It was still a good time.
All right. So, let's see. What else did we have? Oh, the Odyssey. I've been hearing people talk about the Odyssey, and I just happened to mention to Dawn, I believe yesterday, that hey, we should go check this out. And I'm familiar with the book.
Yeah, we read it in school.
Yeah. And the thing is, no movie is ever like the book.
No, it's
And if you want to compare this to the book, you're probably going to be disappointed.
You definitely will.
Yeah. But if not, if you just take it for what it is, it's a movie. then you'll probably enjoy it. Now I don't know, I haven't seen it yet, but just going by what people have been saying about it, but it does seem that some people are upset at things like the casting and things like that, is what I've seen in articles or people talk about. I guess I didn't give it much thought, but you did.
Oh yeah, well, it's because I've Christopher Nolan's one of my favorite directors, and I just love cinema in general. But him especially, like all of his movies are just fucking top tier. Like I can't remember a movie where I watched where I was just like, "What the fuck? This was horrible." But the issue is that it's a modern retelling told by some liberal white chick. So that's my problem with it. So the casting and like basically what they would call in the reverse of this of whitewashing by replacing colored characters with white actors. It's the opposite of this. They're replacing like, well, they don't look Greek. It's supposed to be Greek mythology.
Mm-hmm.
And it's supposed to be, Greek epic poem. And not all these people are Greek. I mean, you have characters who are supposed to be Greek that are black.
Okay.
And that's where a lot of people have issues with it. And I have my own issues with it as well, because if we're gonna hold a standard for one way, we should hold that standard for the other way.
Let me ask you this. How much of this casting is about wokeness? And I think it is, but if in doing so, it's the wokeness of the Academy, because doesn't the Academy now for Oscars, and they certainly with this movie are in that game. They want to be movie of the year.
Oh yeah.
They want several of their people to get individual awards.
Mm-hmm.
So my thing is that you really have to play by the Academy's rules now.
Yeah.
Or they won't consider the movie.
Yeah. I mean, there's yeah.
How much of it has, being forced to be versus being that you just wanted that person for the role. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I got to be honest, it's probably a large part, because if the more awards that something wins in the long run, that means more money it'll make down the road. So that's definitely a big role. And you know how Hollywood, woke as fuck, has got to please everybody and fucking brainwash us every which way. I would say it's a pretty big factor in how they decided the casting.
What about money? Do you know how much money this took to make? Was this like
Shit.
400 million?
Took to make? I have no idea. We're about to find out here. See here, $250 million. So they got to make their
To produce.
yeah. So it's got to make between 600 million and 700 million
Marketing.
globally to fully break even.
Yeah, because that's the other 125 marketing.
I think it will, because
375. What's it at now?
what it opened at. See
I
here.
know it opened over 100 million, but yeah, to date, how much money has the movie made?
300. Oh, mine says 346 million. Way to go. Yeah. So. Oh no, that's saying how much it took to make. So it says the Odyssey has grossed roughly 346 million on what I have
Okay.
here. So,
All right.
So I mean, they're already halfway there, but the thing is, they'll meet that.
Oh, that's more than halfway.
Yeah.
They're almost there.
They'll meet that quota though, because they put these tickets on sale pre-order a year in advance, and they're fucking sold out within the first 8 hours of being available. So they'll 100% meet that quota.
So I don't know if you've seen, and I wish we have friends that are in the business of being a stuntman. And his name is Richard. He's done a shit ton of work. He has often been the stunt man for Batman movies.
I was gonna say, I thought I saw some shit from that.
Yeah. And he's a Steeler fan, and Richard's a great guy. But maybe he could have got Dawn a job here. That apparently, according to Matt Damon, his stunt double was a woman, and she had the best arms he's ever seen.
I would like to see this stunt double, because I've seen some pretty jacked dudes over the course of my life.
Yeah, well, apparently Matt Damon decided not to get jacked. And
Yeah.
I don't know why he wouldn't. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot of questionable things in terms of the casting and like things like that. Like, why wouldn't
Mhm.
Matt Damon look like absolutely ripped for this?
Oh, I did it on Dawn's phone. Shit. I was going to send you a video of Dawn yesterday that I took working out. Yeah. Dawn would blow her away if that's what she looks like right now.
She's 4'5". What the fuck? All right, hold on. Hold the fuck on. Hold on. Let me look up how tall Matt Damon is, first of all. How do you fucking...
Didn't you see that? Like she came up to his armpits, maybe.
Like, what the fuck? He's 5'10". How is that possible? I mean, I guess you can make shit work with camera angles and distancing.
It's
and
camera
stuff
angles, dude.
but like, what the fuck? 4'5", and she has the best arms you've ever seen. Sounds like you're just trying to fucking be a nice guy. I guess I'll
She
say.
does have good arms.
Yeah, there's nothing but the best arms you've ever seen. Like, come on now.
No.
And I'm not saying that as like a knock against her. This has nothing to do with her. But
Yeah.
like, that just, you're obviously just, like I said, being a nice guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shit, I really wish I'd had that video. That was on me. That was bad on me.
Hey, that chick's from Canada, though.
Yeah, fuck Canada.
From Vancouver.
And fuck Vancouver. Oh, my dad's been complaining.
About
A lot.
the smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Affecting even his health and going outside. He said it's been just terrible.
One of the most
And-
environmentally friendly countries there is. And this is what they cause. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Way to look like a fucking idiot.
If they cared about the country, they would do, or the environment, they do the same thing that California needs to do, which is manage your forest.
Yeah.
Manage your forest.
100%. Control burns are there for a reason.
Yes, it is. Absolutely, it is. And last but not least, I guess, Dems rejecting congressional bill that would stop Congress from being able to trade stocks. And the bill was also combined with voter ID, both things that a majority of American people want. A majority of Republicans, a majority of Democrats, a majority of whites, a majority of black, a majority of Hispanics, a majority of men, a majority of women. Divide it up into whatever groups you want to divide things up into. And every one of those groups wants to see these rules changed so that these people like Nancy Pelosi, just can't get rich on insider information that the rest of us don't have, that she exclusively has because she is a member of Congress. And the same is true for voter ID. It doesn't matter if you're black. It doesn't matter if you're Asian. It doesn't matter if you're Hispanic. It does not matter. Male, female, Republican, Democrat, every poll that's been done based on those types of classifications, I believe they've all been somewhere north of 70% where they favor voter ID, and some as high as 90%. So these are two things that we really, really, really want, and they're having a hard time getting it done. In fact, what will likely happen is Trump's going to call it a victory, but he's going to get maybe no less than 30% of what he wants in this bill, but no more than 60%. He's going to get a little bit of it. And the problem is going to be is it's not going to change what's done in blue states if we only get a little bit, which means it fixes nothing. The cheating goes on. And if you're not cheating, you should have no issue with doing this. And as a Republican, if a Democrat, Republicans should just do this to shut, but they don't want it. If they wanted to shut Democrats up, they could say, like, shove this poll tax shit up your ass. We're going to include in the bill. Look at the money we've been spending, even though we're broke, even though with the economy and the war, we've still been spending the government's been spending a shit ton of money. You're telling me we can't spend whatever amount is necessary to take care of a small percentage of people that don't have an ID? And in the future, now and in the future, people can have a free state ID. That's not a driver's license. It's a state ID. Very much the same like a driver's license, except it doesn't approve you to drive a car. If you have a valid driver's license, that can be used as your valid ID. If you have a passport, it shouldn't matter. I should be able to take whatever I want in there, whether it be a passport, my driver's license, but just so they can't say, that we're targeting a certain group of people, because we're not, that we just offer the free IDs. Problem solved. Then they can stop arguing about it. Give it to them. And I don't understand these Democrats who bring that up, the cost and about it being a poll tax. Write an amendment where, if you have a good ID like a driver's license would be, fine. But if you don't have anything and you just need something that is an ID that verifies it, state ID. They could use it when they go into bars, or just much the same way that they use their driver's license, except not being able to drive, but use it for everything else. You could use it for flying.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This shouldn't be that hard to get done. And it shouldn't be hard to get done when we want it at the level that we want this. Why? I mean, we got to start doing some things and finding some areas like this where we can agree and come together on these things and get some bipartisan work done. And fuck who gets the credit. If you want the credit for this amendment that I'm talking about, write it. Republican, Democrat, or you both write one and you vote on both and see which one you want. I don't care, but just solve the problem. If the problem is cost, they get it for free. How much can that be? I don't know. $1 billion, $2 billion? We piss that much away every hour this country does, don't we?
Say that we give a lot more of that away than 1 or 2 billion. So at that point, like, that's really not a big fucking deal.
It's not.
Which is crazy to think that 1 or 2 billion isn't.
All right. So that's our show for Friday. I think we hit on some good things today. If you have some suggestions of things you'd like us to talk about, drop it in the comments. Also, please hit that follow button. Check out all the clips Mikey G's dropping all over the fucking place. Pass those around. Please share those. That is big for us. We're actually moving in the right direction now. Instead of being stuck at a number for, with that basically didn't change by 10 over the course of probably almost a year, the number's starting to move on a pretty regular basis. And we need to keep doing that and can't do that without you. So thank you very much, and much respect, honor, and love. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy.
Who knew I would make it this far? They never believe me. Yeah, I would never